Good afternoon, everyone. We have scheduled 4 series part on presenting to you 10 Hong Kong potential value stocks, which we have shortlisted. The scheduled dates will be this Tuesday. This is the first series from 1 to 1:30. And then next week, next Tuesday, will be our second series, also from 1 to 1:30. And the first series will be held on the 6th of June. That is Thursday afternoon, also from 1 to 1:30. And then the fourth series will be held on the 13th of June from 1 p.m. to 1:30. So do mark them down on your diary and do join us, join all the 4 series part to have to understand or to share with us these 10 Hong Kong potential value stocks. So for this series and the next webinar, we'll present to you 2 companies, Hong Kong companies each. And then in the third and fourth series part, we'll present to you 3 companies each. So altogether, we have picked shortlisted 10 companies for our presentation. Okay, the first one company that we have chosen is one that you may be familiar with. When you come to Hong Kong, you may have visited their or even patronized their shops. Chow Tai Fook. The company is principally engaged in the manufacture and sale of mass luxury and high-end luxury jewelry, as well as the provision of jewelry-related services. The company's main products include gem set products, gold products, and platinum carat gold products. It operates its business through 4 segments: jewelry business in mainland China, watch business in mainland China, and business in Hong Kong, Macau, and other markets, and business of Hearts on Fire. This is one sub-brand under the company called Hearts on Fire, selling diamond jewelry. Okay. Financial performance. The company's financial year end is March. So we have the first 6 months financial results up to end of September last year, 2023. Revenue in the first half of 2024 financial year was up 6.3 year on year to 49.5 billion Hong Kong dollars. That's 49.5 billion Hong Kong dollars. Operating profit and net profit grew more substantially. Operating profit increased by 34.9% to 6.29 billion Hong Kong dollars. And the operating profit margin was up 55.2% to 12.68 percentage points. This is the operating profit margin. Net profit increased by also more than 30%, 36.4% to 4.55 billion, and net profit margin stood at 9.3%, up 60.9% year on year. Earning per share was up 36.23% to 46 Hong Kong cents per share. ROE, very decent one, 15.53% ROE, and ROA was 5.28%, and the interim dividend payout ratio was 54.9%, a rather generous payout ratio. Okay, this chart shows the breakdown of different markets for the company. So on the left, you can see mainland retail. The yellow part, the yellow bar represent its retail as well as wholesale business in mainland China. So Chow Tai Fook, although it's a Hong Kong company, actually more than 80% of its revenue. This is revenue by reportable segment. More than 80% of its revenue comes from mainland China, as shown in the left chart. 35.8% comes from retail, 46.3% comes from wholesale. So making up more than 80%. So strictly speaking, it's not a Hong Kong company because it derives most of its revenue as well as profits from mainland China. Okay, and Hong Kong and Macau of China and other markets account for around 18%. You can see 18% here of its revenue in the first half of financial year 2024. One distinctive thing about the different markets was the recovery in the Hong Kong and Macau market was more profound last year because of more tourist arrival to Hong Kong and Macau. So you can see revenue for the Hong Kong and Macau and other markets increased by 57.7% year on year, whereas China is still still seeing a rather relatively slow recovery. The retail part actually saw a slight decline of 3.7% in terms of revenue in the first half 2024 financial year, but the wholesale business still managed to eke out a 2% increase in revenue. Okay, so this on the right hand side is a breakdown of revenue by product. It's three main products: gem set, platinum and K-gold jewelry, gold jewelry and products, and watches. Watches account for less than 10%, around 5 to 6% in the last 3-4 years. I mean, for the first half, you can see highest was the first half of 2021 financial year, amounting to 9%. But for the rest of the years, the percentage was around 5 to 6%. 80% comes from gold jewelry and products. So it's a key. So we can sum up for Chow Tai Fook. Mainland China is its key market, accounting for more than 80% of its revenue. And in terms of product mix, gold jewelry and products account for also 80% of its revenue. The other 14.7%, around 15%, comes from gem set, platinum, and K-gold jewelry. Usually when the economy is good, the demand for gem set, platinum, and K-gold jewelry it will be stronger. But in sluggish economy like last year, demand for gold jewelry will outperform that of gem set, platinum, and K-gold jewelry. Okay, this is about gold. Investing in gold as a non-interest-bearing asset. The opportunity cost of holding gold will decrease during the interest rate cut cycle. In addition, the fall of the US dollar will also benefit gold prices. Revenue of gold jewelry and products increased 12.8% in the first half of 2024. Its contribution to the group's revenue increased by 450 basis points to 80.1%. You can see in the first half of 2022 financial year, gold jewelry and products account for 75.6% of its total revenue. But in the first half of 2024 financial year, its share increased by 450 basis points to 80.1%. Okay, and we noticed resilient average sales price, ASP. The ASP stable trend sustained across different categories. So the red line represent Hong Kong and Macau market, and the yellow line represent mainland China. You can see the breakdown. In mainland China, this is same-store sales growth, and this is same-store sales volume growth. China in the first half of financial year 2024, first half 2024, was still undergoing a slow recovery. That's why you can see same-store sales growth in all different products still recorded negative growth, and same-store sales volume growth also dropped between 7.3% to 27.6%, and the average sales price was between 8,100 for gem set, platinum, and K-gold jewelry. As I mentioned earlier, usually in good times, people are wealthier. They will the demand for gem set, platinum, and K-gold jewelry will be stronger because the average sales price is much higher. Yet in the sluggish economy, consumers' demand for gold jewelry and products, of which the average sales price was relatively lower, will be stronger. Okay, Hong Kong in the first half of 2024 financial year saw a very strong recovery. Overall, same-store sales growth was close to 60%, and also the demand, the same-store sales growth for gold jewelry and products increased almost by 100%. Okay, and the average sales price is almost double that in mainland China. You can see gem set, platinum, and K-gold jewelry average sales price in Hong Kong and Macau was 16,800 compared to 8,100 in China. And for gold jewelry and products in Hong Kong and Macau, the average sales price was 8,500 compared to 5,600 Hong Kong dollars in mainland China. Okay, this is a summary of the chart I showed you just now. Same-store sales in the mainland dropped 3.5% in the first half of financial year 2024, largely due to the high base of comparison in 1 year ago. And in Hong Kong and Macau, the recovery of inbound mainland tourists continued to be supportive to the business, with same-store sales growth of 59.6% in the first half of financial year 2024. Same-store sales in Hong Kong increased 52.5% during the period, while that in Macau jumped even bigger, saw a bigger jump, 87.3%. Okay, this is revenue. Retail sales value. RSV stands for retail sales value by product and by channel. So this one is by product. You can see the three types of products the company sells. For gold jewelry and products in the first half of 2024, retail sales value increased by 15.1% year on year. And then watches retail sales value also increased by 11.6%, except gem set, which are more high price. As I showed earlier, it dropped by 5.8% year on year, the retail sales value. By channel, the company has three main sales channel. One is under the main brand, Chow Tai Fook Jewelry, 周大福珠宝, and other store brands and e-commerce. So all three channels recorded positive growth in terms of revenue sales value in the first half of financial year 2024. Chow Tai Fook Jewelry, the products sold under Chow Tai Fook Jewelry increased by 11%. Other store brands increased by 18.1%, and e-commerce increased by a smaller scale, 1.9%. Okay, and this is the retail sales value by different point of sales in mainland China. POS stands for point of sales. So this part shows you the breakdown of different cities, from tier 1 to tier 4 cities and others. Okay, all different tier cities, the retail sales value recorded positive growth in the first half of 2022 financial year 2024. And no surprise is the growth in tier 1 cities is the highest, 19.6% growth year on year, with the net increase of point of sales of 34 point of sales are added in the first half of the financial year 2024. Tier 2 cities increased, the retail sales value increased by 11.1%, with net increase in total number of POS by 103. Tier 3 cities increased by 5.8, and Tier 4 cities and below increased by 9.5%. The net POS, net point of sales, also saw increase of 20 and 32 respectively in the Tier 3 cities and Tier 4 cities. Okay, this one shows operating model. There are two operating models under Chow Tai Fook. One, the shops are self-operated by the company, and the other one is franchise. So you can see franchise account for 69% of the total retail total sales value, total retail sales value. A lot of the company, they are franchise. Okay, self-operated stores accounted for 31% of the retail sales value. In the first half of financial year 2024, the self-operated stores recorded a slight drop of slight decline of 0.6% in retail sales value year on year, because net POS increased only by 15 POS, point of sales, whereas franchise, under the franchise model, there was a net increase of 174 point of sales, and contributing to 17.1% increase in retail sales value year on year. Okay, this is the breakdown of store format. So there are three types of store formats. The shops can be open in shopping mall or department store, or others, maybe street level, main street stores. Okay, so those operated in shopping mall, you can see, accounted for 47% of the retail sales value in the first half of financial year 2024. 31.6% of the RSV comes from the shops open in department store, and the rest are from other store formats. Okay, so it's quite evenly distributed in terms of store format, but in terms of operating model, it's 70-30. 70% comes from franchise operators, and 30% comes from its self-operated shops. Okay, as for Hong Kong, the Hong Kong account for RSV is 64.9%. So Hong Kong is still accounting for close to 70% of the RSV among Hong Kong, Macau, and other markets. Macau accounted for 21.4% of the RSV, and other markets accounted for 13.7%. Okay, that's the makeup of the RSV. So in the first half of 2024, RSV from Hong Kong increased by 37.6%, with only one net increase in POS. So in Hong Kong and other markets, unlike in China, there's Chow Tai Fook is still opening, expanding in terms of POS very rapidly, with more than close to 200 net increase in POS. But in Hong Kong and China, the market is quite mature and saturated. So net POS increase is quite slow. Hong Kong in the first half of financial year 2024, they only increased at 1 POS. And other markets, 5 POS point of sales were added. But the RSV growth was quite very remarkable in the first half of financial year 2024. Okay, we are still upbeat about gold price this year or even beyond 2024 because we saw strong demand from central banks pushing up gold prices. You can see natural central bank purchases was on the increase since 2009, 2010. Okay, and gold price move in line with more gold purchases from different central banks. Among the central banks, you can see China ranked number 1 in terms of annual changes in central bank gold reserves. So looking back at the past 4 years, China, India, and Turkey are the 3 countries that are increasing, adding to its gold reserves very rapidly. Okay, and Swiss gold exports to mainland China and Hong Kong also shows there's the Chinese gold import surge in January this year to 150,000 kilograms of gold imports by China. Okay, U.S. interest rate is expected to be higher for longer, but what explains for the reason why Chinese huge demand for gold reserves? It is believed that Chinese leaders are worried that the country could face U.S. curbs and sanctions if it decided to further flex its military muscles, or if the trade war worsens. So China is preparing itself to hold less US dollar and to gradually reduce its US dollar holdings and diversify its reserve with more gold purchase. Okay, this is the price chart of Chow Tai Fook. It actually still underperformed the Hang Seng Index. Compared to end of last year, it was still down by about 5 to 10, between 5 to 10%. So it's still undervalued at the current stock price. Okay, this is the 5-year historical average PE of the company. The fair value would be this red dotted line. Fair value would be around 17 Hong Kong dollars. Now it's trading at below 11 Hong Kong dollars. So it's below -1 standard deviation. -1 standard deviation is 13.728. Now it's trading below -1 standard deviation. It only happens twice. Such low valuation only happened twice in 2019 and 2020. So at the current price and valuation, we reckon that the stock is undervalued.